everybody, this is Two Beards and a Board Game, and I'm Charlie.
And I'm Froese.
We are going to talk about the game Custom Heroes today.
Yep, this is a game made by AEG from their Big in Japan line. And I'm going to say right off the bat, I'm super excited about this game.
It's a lot of fun.
I would say that this is probably one of my favorites that I've played in recent memory, and we play a lot of different games. The base idea of this card game is, well, what's it like, hearts or?
It's described as a trick-taking game on the box, but it's really not a trick-taking game. It is a race to who goes out first.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah. So you're trying to win rounds. Everybody gets dealt their cards, and you're trying to win rounds and earn points. These little points here. And it's the first one to 10 wins, but you also have to win the round.
Correct.
Otherwise, you lose your 10th point and go back down to 9.
So then you have to win twice again.
Yeah, so then you have to win again. I don't know, there's just something about this game. I've always enjoyed card games. There's a lot of positives in my mind about this. The cards themselves, they provide sleeves. Which I love, coming from a Magic background.
Right.
Always having decks sleeved and stuff like that. They even give you extra sleeves in case you inevitably break some of your sleeves in here.
Right, because part of the concept of this game is you modify the cards while you play. So putting cards in sleeves can at set times split the sleeve. So it's always nice to have a few extra ones.
Right. You get a lot, with this. You get your deck of cards, and then you have your modifiers here. I don't know how well that'll show up on camera. We'll take another picture of it. But essentially, what you're trying to do is you're matching your cards. You're playing them down, and like if Charlie plays 2 8s, and I'm the next person to go, I have to play 2 9s.
Or 2 8s.
Or 2 more 8s or 2 10s. I have to match or better.
And if you match, you end up skipping the person next to you. So that adds a very competitive component to the game, too.
Right. And then as you're going, everybody's going to have these little modifier cards, and there's a couple of different types. There's ones that just change the number of the card. And I just love this idea. You just take them and you slide them in here, and then it changes, it just overlays the card.
Right, so in this instance, you just turned a 4 into an 8.
Right, so if I needed to play 8s and I only had 1 8 in my hand, I could put that in there and change it to another 8, and then I'd have 2 8s and I could play them down.
Right. So each card has 4 types of modifiers. There is the changing the base card itself, and then there's 2 little slots that can go plus and minus, and then there is ways you can add extra text to the card. So it could become a wild, or it can be played as a set if you have the gold to pay for it.
Yeah, and one of the cool things, too, is that when you're playing, depending on when you go out, there's a little chart in the back here that tells you how many points you get, and then, if you go out last, and, you did the worst, you get the most modifier cards.
Right.
Right, so you have a better chance of doing, placing higher next round. And one of the cool things is they all go into this little bag here, and you draw them out at random, so you can't see them.
Right.
But I would say even one of my favorite things is that, when people are playing and they're modifying their cards and they're trying to get what they want, at the end of that round, all of those cards, modified and not modified, get shuffled back together and dealt out.
Right.
So if Charlie turns a card into a 12 or something like that, there's a chance that I'll get that card next round. And I just think that's a cool idea because it changes the game every time.
And then one other special thing with these cards is we call it a trump card.
Yeah.
So if you play this, it's going to win the hand. If you pay 2 golds, but if you pay it without paying the gold, you actually get 2 gold back. So as Froese was talking about how these cards get shuffled back in, we've had people that will get their hand and have 3 trump cards in it, and they can just easily take that hand by just slow playing and playing them at the right amount of time to where they can control that entire round.
Yeah, and there's a lot of strategy involved in this game. Once you get your hand, you see what numbers you have. You see what modifiers you have, and you kind of have to make a plan
Right.
based on that. And then, there's still some luck involved based on what you get drawn.
Right.
And, you kind of have to follow other people. So, you kind of have to modify your plans as you're going along. I've just had a ton of fun with this game.
Right.
It plays 2 to 6 people. So it's a good amount of people. We normally have 6 or 7, so sometimes we have to do somebody on a team.
Right.
And it takes about 30, 45 minutes depending on, once you get used to the game, it definitely goes faster.
Right.
But overall, I think this is one of those games that seems complicated and almost intimidating at first.
We definitely had some people in our group that were kind of reserved playing it just because
Right.
looked like there was so many
It
moving
does.
parts.
But when you get down to it, it's pretty simple.
very-
With the same numbers, and you're using these things to, change your numbers or make make something a wild.
It takes one round to learn the mechanics,
Yeah.
and you're off and running.
Yeah.
For the rest of the game.
And it's just fun. It's just a fun, simple card game. The setup for it's not bad. However, I will say my one complaint for this is
Yes.
the initial setup on this game took us what?
The setup for the game itself is fast. It was the unboxing.
Yes.
Each one of these plastic cards had a plastic film on it
Yes.
that we had to peel off.
Yes, and then you have to sleeve your cards as well, which that's not that big of a deal, but we had Charlie and I and then another friend of ours that plays with us quite often, and I would say it took us half an hour, 45
it took
minutes
us at least half
for,
an hour.
just to sit here and you just have to, peel at this, you have to peel each
You
one
have
of
to
them
work
away.
at it.
And I mean, there's
And you end up pulling it so
80.
close, so your eyes are getting strained trying to find that edge.
Yeah, there's like 90 of these cards in here, so there's 90 little pieces of plastic. Our table was covered in little pieces of plastic at the end of it, but it was worth it.
Yes.
I was afraid, that it wasn't going to be, but I mean, I can't stress enough. I recommend this game to just about anybody
Yeah.
that likes games.
Right, and I typically like games that have a lot of replay value. With modifying the cards, you're not going to have a game that's the same as many times as you play it, because we haven't even gotten all the way through the different modifier cards because you're drawing blind.
Right.
So you don't even know what you're going to end up getting. Like one time, someone made a 12 and then added a 9 modifier to it.
Yeah,
So that gave us a 21, and then someone put
a duplicate.
duplicate,
that
so
made it-
you can make. I'm playing 2 21s, and everybody's okay.
Yeah,
I guess
pretty-
you're taking this
yeah,
hand
Pretty much the end of that hand.
because no one wants to waste their trump cards because it's there's only one trump card per player. So if you're playing with 4, there's only 4 trump cards in there.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some resource management to the game as well.
And I want to say we picked this up at one of our local game stores. I want to say it was $35 or $40 maybe. Not super expensive. It may have even been $30. I don't remember the exact price point on it.
AEG typically has pretty well priced games.
Right, and it's good quality. Like I said, the sleeves, they give you extra sleeves. These guys may end up possibly scratching a little bit as you play.
I think we have a couple that are scratching, but I mean you're going to have wear and tear as you play again.
Right.
We've played this quite a few times already.
Right. So yeah, that's it. I think we both definitely recommend this. It's just a super fun game, quick and easy pick up and play. So we appreciate you watching. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.